Next up, number 3, general movement. This is kind of how we've always stayed mobile and flexible as humans across the last million years. Shoot, not even as humans, animals, right? A lion, a tiger, a freaking gazelle, a freaking kangaroo, they don't static stretch. So you go, well, how do they maintain their mobility throughout life? How does the indigenous person who doesn't know the fanciest piriformis stretch, who does not know how to do a hamstring stretch, how do they sit down in a deep squat? And it's actually pretty impressive when you study indigenous tribes. Some of them will maintain that mobility through like age 60, 70, 80. It's pretty impressive how long they maintain that. How? They don't know, they don't stretch. They don't do full range of motion strength training. General movement, right? Positions of rest, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But general movement. Humans have a way of lighting our house on fire and then figuring out how to put it out, right? And that's what we do with flexibility and mobility. We light our house on fire by removing the general movement. We just don't move enough throughout the day. 85% of people right now, I think, are sedentary or not meeting the minimum physical activity requirements. So we're setting our house on fire, and then we're like, okay, how do I put it out? Well, stretching. Well, this fancy mobility drill. These things are good, and some of us do have a house that's on fire, and so I do want to talk about these things. But the best way to be mobile throughout your entire life is to not let yourself get locked up in the first place. And we are not designed to be locked up, but we are also designed to accumulate a lot of movement throughout the day. Our ancestors and indigenous people accumulated a lot of movement, a lot of walking, jogging. One thing, I read a study on indigenous, I don't know which one it was, but indigenous tribe that really prioritized free play. And so even the adults would go play these games of like baseball or whatever they play. There was a lot of free play involved in their society. And we just don't do that. We restructured our society. You know, we sit at class and then we sit at work and then we go to the gym for an hour and then we sit on a machine, right? And so it's like we're taking away natural human movement. You're taking away the locomotion and you're not accumulating movement throughout the day. And it's these small, frequent doses that make sure that our body doesn't lock up in the first place, right? If you could stand up out of your chair every 20, 30 minutes and just move a little bit, and even if that's just walking or jogging or moving side to side, whatever it is, you're moving so you don't get stuck in these positions. So that's the main thing is like, don't set your house on fire in the first place. Then you don't have to put it out. So just general movement. And we get that typically as kids, and then we just fall off somewhere. And sometimes all it is like a month off. Sometimes it's like I took 1 month off and then getting back into it. All of a sudden, now I'm locked up. Now our house is on fire. We got to come up with other ways to put it out. But once you put that out, don't go back into these cycles of like, I'm taking time off and then I'm getting back to it. Figure out ways to have a more active lifestyle.